to continue. Star Wars at Disney Parks, a galaxy in the making. I think it might be time to talk about that construction project again. How many of you remember when Bob Iger first told this story that this was happening at D23? Do you remember this? For those of you that weren't there or haven't seen the clip, I want to play that for you right now. Let's take a look at Bob Iger announcing this new expansion.
Well, today I'm thrilled to announce the next chapter in the long and exciting history between Disney Parks and Star Wars. We're creating a jaw-dropping new world that represents our largest single-themed land expansion ever. One more thing, we're not just building one of these, we're building two. One, Disney's Hollywood Studios in Orlando, and the other, right here in Anaheim at Disneyland. I can't wait, cannot wait to show this to all of you. And I can't think of any way that is more fitting to celebrate the next 60 years of Disneyland and our park legacy than this.
Yeah. So, I remember that announcement well. I know you do too. It's a very, very exciting time for us. A lot of time filled with speculation, just like a new Star Wars film. We're going to have this massive land expansion, unprecedented in the history of Disney parks, all dedicated to Star Wars. That just gives me chills. And in preparation for this panel, I want to tell you a little story, or at least as much as I can. I was invited just last week to Glendale to go to Imagineering, and I saw some things. My friends, I am burdened with this knowledge. I can't even tell you. Every time someone brings it up, what they're doing is just, it's mind-blowing. And I thought I knew, and I thought I had an idea, and then I saw what I saw, and I had to play it cool. I'm trying to be professional. I'm their host, but inside I'm like Beaker. I'm just me. Like I'm going nuts at what I'm seeing because it is so creative. It's so ambitious. I can't get into it, but they took me to a couple little field trips and over here, and then I went over there, and I just left that day just with my breath taken away. Fortunately today, we have a group of panelists to tell us a little bit about that. Now I know it's still, in 2019, we still have a ways away, but I'm so excited that we get to share some of that because what they're going to tell you about is going to get you, if it's even just a fraction of how excited I am, I'm so happy for all of us. So, give a round of applause to Walt Disney Imagineering and to Lucasfilm members. It's Wendy, Doug, Scott, Pablo, Asa, and Chris. Come on out, let's get started. We're gonna go around the horn. Good game. All right, so let's start with just quick introductions of everyone here. Why don't we just go all the way down the row?
Hi, I'm Wendy. I'm with Imagineering. I'm focused on live performance.
Hi, I'm Doug Chang. I'm head of the Lucasfilm art department.
Hi, I'm Scott Trowbridge, and I lead our Imagineering's creative efforts for all of our Star Wars work around the world. I'm Pablo Hidalgo. I'm part of the Lucasfilm Story Group.
Hi, I'm Asa Kalama. I'm an executive creative director working on the Star Wars project.
And I'm Chris Baby. I'm also an executive creative director working on the Star Wars project. And I too worship Doug Chang and Pablo Hidalgo.
So I just want to get started right away with this expansion from kind of a high level. I just told the story about how you invited me to Imagineering in Glendale last week. I guess coming into it, seeing the concept art, I was almost expecting this like hodgepodge of, I mean, in my own head, because I'm just not as creative as you guys. I'll go over to Hoth and get a popsicle, and then I'm going to go over to Kashyyyk and get some Wookiee cookies, and then I'm going to go over to Tatooine, and maybe it's going to be hot, like it is in Orlando and Anaheim. But that's not what it is at all.
That
was so wrong.
You know what? It would be easy to kind of think, let's revisit some of our favorite places. But here's the thing. If we were to go to those places, Hoth, Tatooine, some of those things, we know the stories that happen there, right? We know whose stories they are. And we know that we're not in them. That's not what we wanted to do. We wanted to build, with these guys, with all of us, build new Star Wars stories, new Star Wars destinations, but this time you can be in that story. Right, we want you to discover your own Star Wars story, not just remember somebody else's Star Wars story. So that required us going to a new place, a place with lots of stories yet to discover, and new characters, and new adventures, and all kinds of new awesomeness.
So you've developed a new place in Star Wars. You've developed a new, a new planet, a new...
It's a new planet, it's a new place, it's this remote frontier outpost somewhere on the edge of wild space. Place for us to discover new stories.
Okay, so it's a new outpost. We haven't heard of it yet, but you've been working on this, Pablo, as well. You've been going back and forth.
Yeah, basically, I love the way all these folks work. I've often said the appeal to Star Wars for me personally is, it's obviously a great showcase for themes and characters, but for me it's a destination. Star Wars is the place that I visit, and with every new Star Wars story, it's like coming back home, but finding a new corner of that home that you've never explored before. So when it came to developing this location, I've been working, the whole story team has been working to not only figure out where this place is on the galactic map, but what its history has been throughout galactic history.
I just have to say that every single time I do a panel where you have Lucasfilm with a company like Imagineering, I'm so impressed and overwhelmed at the collaborative nature of this. And this is something that you guys have been talking about on a daily, weekly basis now for years. Is that right?
That's right. We have I think it's a great team, really. I mean, we don't really even so much think of it as a partnership as a single team, right? We share designs between the work that's happening here and what Doug's doing in the films and the stories all. One of the things that the Lucasfilm Story Group is so great at is integrating these stories together into a kind of a single Star Wars universe. And that this place has such a rich history. I mean, I'll tell you, I feel like I've already been here. I mean, we've been working on this long enough that I feel like I've already been here and I've met the characters and I know these people, and I can't wait for you guys to meet these people and to be able to discover.
He already does all the sound effects for all the characters from time to time.
And the voices.
Yeah.
So this place is very real for you and the entire team working on this. I understand you brought a video as well. What? Hello?
Yeah, we were gonna. This is something we wanted to share with the world, but I mean, we really wanted, even though it is a little early for us, we wanted to share stuff with you guys first because we are fans. We love the fans, so we wanted you guys to see this first.
You want to see it? This is an introduction to the creative team that is bringing you this new expansion. Let's check it out. Wow, that is a lot of information to digest. I want to go back from the top because you mentioned it as an outpost. Clearly, we know from a high level this is a new location in Star Wars.
No, it's new to you.
It's always been there.
It's always been there. It's just you haven't discovered it yet.
But we're all on a hyperspace journey, and it'll take until 2019 to get there.
Yeah, and I wouldn't be surprised if some of the characters that we really know and love already are familiar with this place.
Right.
The fact that it may be newly discovered to us doesn't mean it's newly discovered to everybody, right?
Yeah, and it's been there not since 2019. It's been there for thousands and thousands of years. And you're going to discover that. You're going to be able to get a sense of the history of the place when you go there.
Yeah, so this used to be a vibrant trading port back in the old sub-Lightspeed days. But now with the the advent of hyperspace, it's kind of, its prominence has kind of fallen and faded a little bit, right? Which has made it a great spot for those who didn't want to be on that kind of mainstream path, right? So the smugglers, the bounty hunters, the rogue adventurers looking to crew up, the people who don't want to be found, right? This is a great, basically all the interesting people. Basically all the interesting people are here, and that's where we're going to find an opportunity to engage with them and discover them and kind of start to live our Star Wars story.
And this is in the Outer Rim, it's beyond the Outer Rim, Pablo?
It's a bit off the beaten path. I'm not going to tell you where on the map it is, but I will tell you that it is on the map. For those Star Wars cartographers who always obsess over where it is, know that we obsess over it too, and know that putting a dot on the map brings a lot of history to it, and we've examined what the ramifications of its location are.
Wow! It has ramifications.
I want to go. All right, so you mentioned really interesting characters. Now, what kind of characters are we going to meet there? Creatures, droids, what kind of characters?
Well, I mean, Scott was mentioning we've got our own underworld going on. It's going to be connected to things that you've known and loved, characters you've known and loved, but also some new ones that we can't wait to introduce to you. Of course, we're going to have a presence of the Resistance and the First Order, because that's Star Wars, right? But then you're also going to have people who just live here, who populate this village, who will engage with you, who will be able to interact with you, and you'll be able to start going on some adventures with them too. It's going to be a lot of fun.
Wow, and of course, something you said actually last week was that the devil is in the details when it comes to Imagineering. This is something that is just a motto for Disney, and certainly we all notice when we go to the theme parks. What's it like, sort of diving into the details of a place that you can actually walk around in and experience? Chris, when you're designing this, like, how does the devil in details work in a Star Wars location?
Yeah, of course, the first thing we did was call up Doug and the team, and we're like, hey, can we come up and pay a visit and just start having some conversations about what we want this place to look like, and what do you want to feel like when we walk into the land? What do you want to smell? What do you want to touch? And I think that's really the big difference between film and what we're crafting. For 30 some odd years now, we've seen it sort of in this two-dimensional form, and now we're going to let you actually go and explore these streets and these markets and buy strange meat concoctions and rolled up in weird vessels that you can walk around and eat. And of course you have to have a glass of blue milk, and you have to. It's Star Wars.
Wait, now is that a pod racer engine? What was that?
That might have been a pod racer engine that we've rigged up, and maybe that's cooking the meat in this market. And so I think like Doug was saying, that we're really trying to. We're really trying to make sure that there's something in this land for everyone. That no matter where you've come into the story or into this saga, that there's something there that will resonate with you. That this place feels like home, but yet at the same time it's new and it's fresh, and you just never know. Little details like you might hear things scurrying through the sewer systems, and so when you go to the restrooms, be careful what you drink out of, because the water fountains might have a familiar face or an eyeball. It might be familiar. So we're having a lot of fun with those details and just those little things that us as Star Wars fans, and by the way, I'll tell you, this group right here are some of the world's biggest Star Wars fans. We're making sure that those details are in there, that you're going to be excited, and I can't wait to share it with everyone.
Now, Doug Chang, you have designed some Star Wars in your day. I understand. And what is your favorite creative challenge in approaching this new outpost? I mean, is it the grid? Is it kind of the outward, out beyond? What is it? The unknown region? How did you approach this? How did you approach this?
Thank you. It's actually really interesting, and actually working with Chris and Asa and John Lorena, it's been really fun because I approach this as just another film. And we design it like that because it has to be as expansive as that. One of the great things about working on a film is that you're creating these really rich, immersive worlds. But unfortunately, you only experience it from one point of view. With the park, what I really like about this is that we're actually going to be able to live it. Because, the funny thing is, we build these enormous sets. They're pretty big, but in reality, they're pretty small. And when you go in there, you can completely get immersed in there, and you feel like, oh, wouldn't it be great if you could share this with more people? But then, very quickly, you lose that illusion because you turn around and you see movie lights and you see what's supporting the wall. You touch the rock and you realize, oh, it's just painted carved foam. Or you smell the fresh paint. The great thing about this is going to be like a 14+ acre movie set that's real. The rocks are real, every detail is real. And so the approach was that let's do some real world building where we actually can have the tools and abilities with the talented team here to really make it very authentic. And for me as a fan, I mean, I've always wanted to live in a Star Wars universe. I mean, just go and walk around it. And I think we're going to have that opportunity, and it's like, I couldn't think of a better team to collaborate with.
So, yeah. This idea of going to Star Wars and being in Star Wars and using the word real is just something that I'm so in love with right now. What were some of the challenges, or are the challenges that you're discovering in making Star Wars real? Like you said, it's not a set. You know, you don't turn around and see plywood, you turn around and see more Star Wars. Anything surprise you? Any unique challenges in bringing that to life that you've discovered already?
No, there's always challenges anytime you're trying to craft, especially with this franchise and with the love for this franchise. It's always a challenge to, I think, craft a place that we haven't seen yet, that we haven't visited, right? But we went back to, we spent a lot of time up at Lucasfilm. We pulled all of Ralph McQuarrie's original artwork out and just dug through all those amazing images that really, I thought, gave it, as Doug and I talked, really, we felt like that was the DNA, right, that we wanted to sort of base this land off of. That it felt like Ralph might have had a hand in crafting what this place looked like visually. And so that wasn't a challenge, it was, it was an honor, right? It was so amazing to get to spend that time together and really lay the foundation for what this planet's going to look and feel like. And so that's really been, we always joke that if it didn't look like Ralph, agreed to it or had a hand in it, then we throw it out, right, that design. So I think you'll see that, not just Ralph McQuarrie's work as an inspiration, but we also traveled to Istanbul, we traveled to Morocco, we traveled to a lot of exotic places throughout the world to really kind of give it that sense of like this exotic, amazing sort of eclectic nature. And so these markets are just going to be packed with incredible details and incredible, incredible things to visually take in. And so we're excited to share that. And I think, like I said, it's been an honor to work with Doug and the Lucasfilm team because they really have helped sort of guide, this direction and bring this to life.
One of the fascinating details that you brought up when I was there is about lighting. Obviously, Orlando is sunny, Anaheim is sunny. How does that play into how you're building a new outpost like this?
No, it's a. Oh, go ahead.
No, I was just going to say, one of the things that we also wanted to do was, because it is a real place that you're going to be walking around in, we wanted to make it a place that you would feel comfortable walking around in. I'm not sure Hoth would feel that way. I'm not sure Tatooine would really feel that way.
It can when you're in Florida in August.
Yeah, that's true. So working with Doug and the team to create a place that was new and felt new and had its own unique style and its own unique geology and geography and history, I think was really, and then one that we felt would work in the physical environment, in Florida or in California, a place that would feel natural with that kind of weather and rain and it had to work with all of that stuff. So that may be one of the challenges, is that we're trying to impose a certain level of reality into a world that has never felt, has never had to have that imposed on it before.
Yeah, and the interesting challenge is that when we're designing movie sets, it's always for a very specific point in time. We're either building it for end of day or daylight, and so you really don't have to worry about the overall time frame. For something like this, it's actually very challenging because you really have to make sure that everything looks good throughout the course of the day because the guests are going to enjoy it for the full day. And then you have to put on top of that, layer on top of it, weather and how that impacts it. And so it adds another level of complexity, but I think it also brings up the level of the bar in terms of raising our aspirational challenge to create something that's very authentic. And what I love about that world building aspect is that when we meet the challenges, you're really going to feel like you're really there. I mean, the illusion's going to be completely immersive and just amazing. I mean, I can't wait, because even one of the simplest things like smelling things. I mean, it's, what Chris says, that is so important. It's like sound in a movie. When you go into a space, when you smell it, when you feel the humidity, you're going to feel like you're really there.
What does Star Wars smell like? This is a.
You're going to find out. There's some things we're not ready to
Star
talk
Wars
about yet. There's some things, look, again, this is all about discovering this for yourself. So we don't want to tell you that. We want you to discover that. You know, just thinking about this idea of, you know, how do we make it real and the challenges for making it happen in the real world. It isn't just about what the place looks like, but it's also just the kinds of things we're used to seeing in those films. You know, the action and the, you know, I know Wendy spends a lot of time thinking about how do we actually get characters, and you know, we're not quite ready to talk about the specific stories and specific characters yet, but how do we get these characters to do the things that we're used to seeing on screen, but now have it happen really with you in the world?
It's been so much fun to work on all of that because we're partnering with Rob Inch and the teams that are developing all of the action for the film. So we've been developing that for a while now. We've done some workshops in London. We're working with the best and the brightest, and we're so excited to bring that style to you, to let you be in the center of that action, let you have a piece of that, and to let you experience it right up close and personal. I think we have a little clip of a workshop that we did in London earlier this year, if we want to roll that.
Yeah, let's take a look. What do you say?
Just a taste.
Just a little bit.
Now, I know you have to do all this stuff that, you know, we were talking about. Tom Fitzgerald was earlier talking about how we don't have the ability to edit in Star Tours, and we don't, all these amazing action sequences, we have to do it in real time, or we're going to do it in real time, right? With you in the middle of it.
Yeah, I mean, we're using rooftops, we're using ladders, it's all kinds of fun stuff that we'll be able to talk more about in more detail later, but man, you're gonna feel like you're in the thick of it. You're not gonna sit in a chair and watch it happening. You're gonna be standing right in front of it. It's very fun.
You're in the story. You're in Star Wars.
You're in the Star Wars.
You're in the Star Wars. So we've talked about creatures, we've talked about characters, droids. Are there droids?
There will in fact be droids. Droids are such an important part of the Star Wars universe. They add so much heart and humor, and they're so great for fans of all ages. And our little corner of the galaxy is no different. We're going to see some droids that we know and love from screen, as well as get the opportunity to meet some brand new droids we've never seen before, each with their own unique sort of personality and character. And they're going to be really just sort of bustling around this village and Sook area, activating the entire world and bringing it to life in a really fun and exciting way.
And I will say we treat droids as characters because they are, right? They're definitely other beings that populate this place, creating this whole living environment that you're going to be able to wander through. It's going to be so fun.
Droids are people too.
Droids are totally people too.
So we've talked about you know, who you're going to meet, what you're going to see. Also, what are we going to do?
Sure. So as Scott mentioned at the top, right, we're going to be visiting something, a crossroads in the galaxy, and this is a place where all of us are greeted very much as guests, as visitors, but for those who are looking to delve a little bit deeper, lots of opportunities certainly will abound. There are going to be a ton of opportunities to help out and support the resistance. Lots of smugglers and bounty hunters who are looking for a little bit of help and might be willing to offer you up a side job. And for those of you who are interested in supporting the First Order, that will absolutely be an opportunity as well. But the number one,
I'm a little scared now.
But the number one thing that our fans tell us they want to do when they're sort of part of the universe of Star Wars is get the opportunity to ride inside the Millennium Falcon. And I'm a little bit biased because that's one of the attractions that I'm working on, but it's going to be pretty sweet. We're not just going to let you ride in the Millennium Falcon, we're truly going to let you control the Millennium Falcon. So you and your flight crew are going to be responsible for piloting one of the most iconic ships in the entire galaxy.
That's just a hunk of garbage.
Wait.
Who's gonna fly it, kid?
Yeah, you. So, I get to... Everyone who goes gets to go on the Millennium Falcon and drive the Millennium Falcon.
The experience will allow you and your flight crew to pilot the ship on an amazing adventure. This is something a little bit different for everyone who rides the attraction. It's going to be truly amazing.
But who's my co-pilot?
Your mother, your uncle, your sister, your second cousin twice removed.
Do they have to speak Shiriwook? I mean, do they have to know how to talk?
They should start practicing their Wookiee.
Okay.
It actually enhances the experience.
Interesting. And if I want to crash and bump and move and do all that, I can.
Again, it's entirely up to you and your flight crew. Chances are you're going to make it to your destination on the other end. The ship just may be a little more damaged than when you began. So again, it's really up to you. You can bring her in without a scratch on her, or if you want to, if you're a practitioner of bumper bowling and you want to try to maneuver off a couple of those rock faces, more power to you.
But hang on, if you do that though, this is a world in which choices matter, and so if you do that, there are consequences.
There are consequences to your actions in this world. So if you bring a ship back pretty heavily damaged, chances are, somebody's not going to be too happy about that.
Yeah, Wendy has plans for people like that.
And so...
That was my Chewy. That was my
Good.
Great. And so again, for those who are, again, really interested in delving a little bit deeper, we're excited for opportunities where, an experience might begin on board the Millennium Falcon and follow you right out the door of the attraction and into, the local watering hole. Right? So it really is up to you to determine, how you want your fate to play out in this world.
You can essentially build a reputation in the Star Wars universe.
You're blowing my mind right now. So this stuff follows you around. I mean, it's truly immersive, not just the attractions, but the entire, it's Star Wars, isn't it?
Yeah.
There could be someone looking for you eventually. Yeah.
Oh. Me? I didn't do anything.
Yet.
That's great. Well, now tell everyone, in case you don't know, when can we expect this expansion? When is this coming to our lives? When do we arrive?
Yeah, I think I like the way you put it. It's like, when do we arrive? Because again, as Pablo said, it's been there for thousands of years, and I think we've already been living there for a while. In fact, that's why I'm still jet lagged. The trip is long. So we've actually already announced that we're going to invite you all to discover these destinations in 2019. So it feels like it's a little bit away. We've had some help. We've had some help building these things out. It turns out that's actually not making it go faster. So we chose poorly. BB-8's a great site supervisor there, though. But yeah, but we do have teams all over the world now that are helping us do the things that we need to do so that we can invite you to this place, and so you can have the kinds of experiences that all these guys have talked about. Both, you mentioned early on that there's a big construction site here. That is, and there's one in Anaheim too. In fact, just last weekend we shot a little bit of footage to kind of show the most recent site progress. We shot this in Anaheim, but Orlando looks the same. But just to give you a little bit of sense of like how big and massive this project is, and a little bit about where we're at in the timeline.
I want to see it. Guys, let's do it.
So as I said, this is Anaheim, and all of this, everything you see, is our new destination. It's usually busier than this. This was early Sunday morning, last Sunday actually. If you look very carefully inside this building, you can actually see the outlines that might look familiar. Full size. I won't talk about what that giant pit is for. It's not for swimming. So as you can see from this, on a Sunday morning, not so busy.
Give him a round of applause. Give him a round of applause. That's the thing that my jaw just hit the floor because it's like, wait, that's actually, it's gonna, full size, you said. Like, those are there. They're right there.
They are right there.
Those are them.
Those are some of them.
I'm gonna need a nap.
Because we didn't talk about this. Also talked about this opportunity to get behind the controls of a Millennium Falcon and pilot it on this, this journey that's truly up to you and your flight crew about how it goes. And as I also mentioned, we're not really talking too specifically about stories and characters and things yet, but one of the things we have mentioned, and this is kind of evident, there is a presence of the First Order in this experience, right? We are going to find ourselves in the middle of this opportunity, this epic Star Wars experience that puts us right in the middle of an epic battle between the First Order and the Resistance. And, it'll be up to us to choose our fate and to participate in this in some way. And it is, I'll tell you this, it is the most epic, attraction we've ever undertaken.
Unbelievable. Just unbelievable. It's like walking into an RPG. It's just unbelievable. That's just fantastic. Now, I know we're short on time, but I just want to offer you a chance. Any closing thoughts from your different disciplines? Anything you want to say to the fans?
Well, we've often said that, we offer opportunities for you to enter in the Star Wars universe, and we've given you different versions of that, whether it's losing yourself in a movie, in a book, in a video game, in a VR experience. This is unlike anything we've ever done before, and it's so amazing. And just speaking personally, I've had amazing opportunity to watch craftspeople who are the best in their field, and theme park development is something that I never in a million years dreamed I'd get a front row seat at. And working with this team, it's amazing to see the things that they do and get to peer behind that particular curtain. So it's been a great rush for me, speaking as a Star Wars fan, and I can't wait to see it finished.
Yeah.
And speaking about, for me, as a fan growing up with this, kind of living in the Star Wars, galaxy or whatever for almost 25 years now, it's so amazing because the level of detail and fidelity that the team is working on is so over the top. I've never seen anything like this because we're really creating a very authentic real world, something that you can actually feel like it's reality. It's not a movie set, it's not fake, it's real. Everything's going to have that quality to it, that tactile quality. And I don't know, I'm giddy thinking about it because I want to be there now. And for me, it's that fulfillment of that 15-year-old child's dream when I first saw Star Wars. I finally get to go there.
You'll know all the surprises already, though. Can I tell a story about you?
Please tell
me.
Okay.
So last week we invited David to come over and kind of just see a little bit, so he had a little bit of a context for what we were talking about. And one of the things that I remember you kind of reacted to was, one of the things that we're trying to do is how do we make Star Wars real? How do we take it off that screen and make it real for all of us, right? And one of the things we knew, Star Wars, we have to have lightsabers, right? So we actually showed David a little prototype of how we will actually take these the stuff looks great on screen, but we have to make it look great right in front of you.
No, Scott, it's real.
It is real.
I've seen a lightsaber now in my life, and you showed it to me. I know it's too early, but I've seen some things. And it's real, and it's coming in 2019.
Yeah, it is a little early. We really can't wait to share all this with you and invite you to come and discover it. But the thing we wanted to do today was here at Celebration was really take the opportunity to just talk to the fans and to just give the fans a little bit of update on progress, because we are the fans, we're doing this for the fans, we want you guys to be along on this journey with us, yes, we are such uber nerd fans, in fact. This was actually, this was in
How come we're the only two in costume?
Yeah, this is either our team or the village people. I can't see exactly what that is.
Scott actually wore that orange jumpsuit on the tube, and no one would sit next to him. which was quite fun to watch.
That's true. That's true. But we wanted to share with you guys this, just let you know that we're doing this for you. We are looking through the lens of fandom at the experiences we're building because it's so important to us, and we know it's so important to you. So we wanted to make sure we took the opportunity, even at this early stage, to just share stuff with you so that you can feel like you're coming along on the journey with us.
And I just wanted to reiterate something that Scott had said earlier, this notion that it really isn't like we're, two separate teams working alongside one another. We are truly integrated. This isn't an interpretation of Star Wars. This is Star Wars. The people working on it are the same hands that are making the film, the same amazing story group. And it is an amazing honor to get to work alongside all these amazingly talented people every single day to make something that is truly canonical.
When do we, now I know, and this really is truly unprecedented to share something, so much that you've shared today, so thank you so much because it's still so early, but when do we get to hear more? D23 is in a few months, maybe?
Yeah, D23 is in July, and certainly we'll be farther along in development, so I would suspect we'll have more that we're able to share at that time. And also, we'll be sharing stuff on the Disney Parks blog as we get more information, and because we want to share both progress and a little bit of the behind the scenes, so you can kind of get a taste of what it's like to make the Star Wars, but more importantly, to start introducing you to the stories that you're going to be able to take part in and meet the characters that you're going to be able to become friends with and allies with and combatants of and sidekicks of, and some of these great characters that these guys have all been developing.
So we can go to Disney Parks blog and just kind of stay engaged with all that stuff.
We will start to, we're going to start kicking this off really soon. So, there's already been some stuff on that blog, but expect to see more in the future.
Refresh. Please join me in thanking our panelists from Lucasfilm. Welcome to Imagineers. Thank you so much for giving us a sneak peek. Thank you so much, and thank you to all of you. Have a great day at Star Wars Celebration. Thank you.